All right. All right. What's up, people? How you doing? My name is Tim Black. Welcome to the Tim Black at Night Show. Glad you could be here. Yes. Welcome back, Periscope, Facebook, YouTube. We are in the building. I want to make sure that our vocals are nice and high so that everybody can hear us. Let me do that real quick. Great way to touch base. Make sure people are in the house. So let's jump on Facebook first this time. Facebook's in the house. Ginger's in the house. Bruce is in the house. Evan's in the house. Dolores in the house. Scott, Billy, Brendan. What's up, Brendan? Dion's in the house. Can you guys hear me good out there? I just want to make sure that this mic is light, is bright and loud, and we can hear each other. Well, you can hear the show. Madeline. Hey, Madeline. Jason. What's up, Jason? What's up, Karen? Looking good so far. Karen says, we hear good. Sounds good, says Bruce. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Yes, we're doing good. We're able to be heard on Facebook. And you know that's important because I got a lot of Facebook love out there, man. My people on Facebook and they're on YouTube and Twitter. Roland, what's up, Roland? Truth Can't Be Silenced on YouTube. Now, here we go. What's up, man? How you doing, man? I'm glad you're able to moderate Truth. Gary Webb. Mama Alaska, what's up? What's up, Mama? Sounds good, says Chi. Sounds good, says Gary. All right, Bridget, Lee, Heather, Bud Roland, Jason on Earth. Elephants on Coke. That would be a dangerous thing, wouldn't it? An elephant never forgets where to get the best Coke. Butterfly, hey, how you doing, Butterfly? What's up, Roseanne Monterama? Marilyn. Sukmara. J-Bird. Oh, man. And look, we got a number of Tim Black Wolfpack members on YouTube right now. I see you guys rocking your apparel. I need to make some more cool stuff, some more avatars for my people on YouTube, guys. See, folks, if you don't know, we have a growing community of Tim Black Wolfpack members, and we do like real cool things on different platforms. On YouTube, we got these avatars that people use in the chat rooms. They're customized. They're made for just the Wolfpack. Really cool stuff, man. And on Facebook, we got top fans that do similar things. And on Patreon, we got a group of people, man, who I want to shout out. Tim Black's Patreons, man. We had a number of new people sign up that want to be a part of what we're doing. I guess they feel the love and the energy and the revolutionary spirit of all of us because this is what it is. It's a community-based thing we got going on. So I want to shout out Salma, Googie, Roy Lever, Bonnie, Sarah Grow, Carmel, Was MRS, not sure how to pronounce that, and Lane. That's right. I want to shout you all out. Thank you so much for joining us on patreon.com, Tim's Take Live. That's where you become a member of the Tim Black or Team Black or the Tim Black Wolfpack. And also, guys, just another announcement. I have bumper stickers that I want to send out to everybody who's a $5 or more member, right? So send me your mailing address. I'll send you a bumper sticker. And it might be something else cool in the package, too. We're trying to get some cool stuff that we can afford to send out. If you are a $5 and up member, send me your address, and I'll send you a bumper sticker. It's just a way to try to get people an incentive, man, to be a part of the community. Plus, you can rock it. You can put it on your laptop, put it on a bookcase. I don't know. Wherever you want to put a bumper sticker. Oh, Tim, they can put it on the bumper. So, guys, and if you're already a $5 member, just send me your address, and I'll just send it out. It's for new people and old people because I personally can't stand it when you're already a part of something and they give new incentives to new people, but then they don't hook the older people up. It's like they punish you for being loyal. I don't get it, man. I can't stand it. I think it's wrong, right? So we don't do that around here. If you are already a member and you joined last month and you pay $5 a month, write me. We'll send you a bumper sticker, man. Wow. Okay. Let me jump because we got some stuff to do tonight. Now, I don't have a real long show planned tonight, but I do have a show obviously planned because we don't just jump on and just start talking, right? We have some stuff put together that we want to present. Your time is valuable. You know, though I just love talking to y'all, I want to give you something to walk away with that I think is going to be helpful and keep you up to date. So we're going to talk about Mayor Pete Buttigieg. Pete Buttigieg. And we're going to talk about his fundraising. And it's really important. I got a clip I want to share with you about Mayor Pete. And it's sit down he had with David Axelrod. Because a lot of people are fooled by Mayor Pete, man. And what I mean by it is they buy into some things about Mayor Pete that they really like, that they find admirable or refreshing. And unless you're really perceptive and really pay attention to what Mayor Pete's saying, you'll totally miss the parts about Mayor Pete that have me most concerned. So I'm going to share with you about Mayor Pete's fundraising and some reasons why. Because people write me, they say, Tim, man, won't you take a closer look at Mayor Pete? I want to show you what's up with Mayor Pete, some things you should pay attention to. Yeah, we'll go to this one. Kamala Harris. She made an appearance on The Breakfast Club, and she's been a couple of other places. She went on The View on Friday. She's really making the rounds, the media rounds, right? And she made some comments about Russia. Yeah, she went back to Russia. So we're going to talk about that. We got some stuff I want to share with you regarding Kamala Harris and some statements she made about Russia. Donald Trump made a move this weekend that has the whole world talking, where he made comments about some Congress people, some female Congress members of people of color, that he made. He went on like a Twitter tirade. You know, Trump had these Twitter outbursts. You know, he just go buck wild on Twitter. So one of those outbursts, or this series of outbursts, has led us to where we are now, which is having a conversation about Donald Trump. And I want to talk about that. And the women have responded, and it's a whole lot. So we're going to get into that. And more importantly, we're going to get into the why. At least why I think why. You'll be able to make up your own minds about that. But first thing I want to do is I want to share a little bit of information about an update on the story. Now, some of you may remember this guy. His name is James Alex Fields Jr. He's a young man who ran over the activist Heather Heyer in Charlottesville back in 2017. All right? That's the man, James Alex Fields Jr. Well, he got a little shocked today. Man gets life plus 419 years in deadly Charlottesville car attack. That's right, guys. This guy, James Alex Fields, received over 419 years. He was sentenced to life plus 419 years on federal hate crime charges Monday for deliberately driving his car into an anti-racism protesters during a white nationalist rally in Virginia. All right? So here we go, guys. Let me just give you a little bit more background on this. We all know about it. The Charlottesville story was everywhere. It was something that I don't think anybody missed it who was in the United States at the time. And frankly, I think it went global. Well, you know, Fields, he's only 22 years old. So this is to be in jail for the rest of your life if you're only 22. I got to imagine for anyone it's a heck of a thing. But to be only 22 years old and get life in prison. The only thing worse than getting life in prison would probably be to get the death penalty. And the only thing worse than getting the death penalty is to be killed by someone who runs you over. So I'm not really feeling bad about James Fields getting life in prison because Heather Heyer doesn't have a life to lose. She's already lost her life. In fact, she didn't lose her life. That's watered down talk. He took her life. Okay? He took her life. He received a sentence for killing Heather Heyer, injuring dozens during the Unite the Right rally in Charlottesville, August 12, 2017. So it wasn't just Heather Heyer. It was the other people that he could have also killed. Fields was sentenced last month to life in prison on 29 federal hate crimes. The state sentence is mainly symbolic given his previous sentence on the federal charges. So this is sort of like, hey, we already had him for life, but this is just more like us putting our seal of approval on it on the federal side. Okay? Now, we know that Fields was an avowed white supremacist. He said he was a white supremacist and a white nationalist. Those are his words. What's also important to know is that James Fields, who kept a photo of Adolf Hitler by his bedside, yeah, he's a sick puppy. Sick puppy, right? See, that's what I want to drive to about James Fields. The young man was known to have mental issues. Mental issues, known mental issue person. His name is James Fields Jr. So he's somebody's son. Y'all didn't know y'all son was a white nationalist who had a book, Adolf Hitler, sitting next to his bed, that was a virulent racist that did these things on purpose. You saw no signs of him being a hate-filled person that would go out and try to kill as many people as possible. And he did admit that he wanted to kill more people. Like, he didn't just want to hit one person, kill one person. During Fields' state trial, his attorneys focused on his history of mental illness and a traumatic childhood. So, look, guys, I do respect the fact that we have children that grow up in very harsh situations. We have children that go through all types of trauma. Right? We get that. There are people who work tirelessly. There are people working right now to help those children. There are people fighting back right now. They just don't get much publicity for their efforts. And we're going to try to change that here on this show. But I'm sorry, but I don't have any sympathy at all for James Fields Jr., and I don't have any sympathy for the family that knew this young man needed help. Now, I don't know what you did to get him help, but at this point, it's kind of null and void. What I'm saying is, if you know somebody who's I don't know, a couple bottles short of a six-pack, if you know somebody who's filled with hatred, someone who's virulently racist or just antisocial, they need help. All right? And what happens is you end up with over a dozen people injured. A young woman lost her life, and now he's lost his life. So I don't really feel like there's any winners in this type of thing. There is no winners in this type of thing. No one's running around jumping, we won! You won nothing. Nothing was won here. This young man is definitely going to go into prison. Who knows, he's in prison for the rest of his life at 22 years old for something that he didn't have to do, something that didn't need to happen. So, yeah, we fail people in this society. People fail us in this society. I don't feel good about it, as in relieved. I don't know if there's ever justice when somebody's life is taken unnecessarily. Get what I'm saying? And I don't feel like this. It's horrific is what it is, All right. All right, I'll leave it alone. We'll go to the next story. But you're like me, I just don't, if you're like me, you don't feel no sense of, there's no relief. It's just pointless. All right, moving on, guys, moving on. Can we go to, all right, let's go to Kamala Harris, okay? Let's go to Kamala. Kamala, what number are you? Kamala is here. All right. Kamala Harris recently appeared on The Breakfast Club just last week, where she made some comments that sort of rocked the boat. She made a statement about Colin Kaepernick, and she said that the Kaepernick anthem kneeling controversy was the work of Russian bots. She actually said it. She said that the bots are coming after her, and the Russian bots came after Kaepernick, and that thing was not a thing. Like the whole, she said the thing, it wasn't a thing. That like the Kaepernick knee bending was not a thing if it weren't for Russia. Now I know people are out there right now laughing like, Tim Black, man, get out of here. What are you talking about, Tim Black, man? I know you're not a Kamala fan, but come on, man, keep it real, man. She didn't say nothing stupid like that. She didn't actually say that Colin Kaepernick was the thing of Russian bots, that Russian bots made that story big. Because I was right here the whole time, Tim Black. I was watching the President of the United States reference Colin Kaepernick from the bully pulpit of the highest office in the land. That wasn't a Russian bot. That was Donald Trump sitting up there saying that stuff that made that story big. And then it was on every news station. I saw it on MSNBC. I saw it on Fox News. I saw it on CNN. I saw it on ESPN. I saw it on FS1. I saw it everywhere. Everyone was talking about Colin Kaepernick and the knee bending and the kneeling. Those weren't Russian bots. That was everybody. Everybody from Joanne Reed to Wolf Blitzer to Anderson Blooper to Tucker Carlson to Bill O'Reilly. Wasn't Bill O'Reilly around still at that time? But this goes back a couple of years. How could Kamala Harris come out on the Breakfast Club and say, real smart people have told me that, really smart people told me. What's her exact words, man? She said, referring to the heat that ended up, the heat that ended up. She does this a lot, this is the heat that ended up around Colin Kaepernick. Let's be really clear. The heat that ended up. There's a lot of that going on. I don't know what that does. Does that make lies seem more real? She said, referring to that heat that ended up around the bend the knee and Colin Kaepernick, many smart people have said that actually was not a thing. What a flaccid comment to make. What an impotent statement. Like, I want to throw this out here, but I'm not saying it. Many smart people, who I will not name, have said this. It was Russia that made Colin Kaepernick's story big. It wasn't the marches it wasn't people, all those people burning those jerseys, guys, that was Russian bots doing that. Them people would not have cared about that if some Russian kid in his basement hadn't been tweeting about it under a fake account. They tried this same BS with the election. They said that people wouldn't have cared about Eric Garner, Sandra Bland, Tamir Rice if it weren't for some Russians making Facebook groups about it. As if black people wouldn't have already been pissed off about all the cop killings. If it wasn't for Russia, no one would have talked about it. We'd have been quiet. We'd have like, oh, man, well, sometimes you got to shoot a 12-year-old in the head. Yeah, sometimes you got to shoot a man in a Walmart with a gun at Walmart that they sell at the Walmart that he's looking at because he black in a state that's open carry. Like, we'd have just been like, oh, that's fine, But if it wasn't for, like, Sergey and his friend Viktor Sergey from Lithuania or whatever, in their little Facebook group posting memes, we wouldn't even care, guys. We'd have been all good with it. This is the logic of a senator who tells us, I'm the best one to prosecute Donald Trump. You couldn't prosecute reality from your lips to the microphone at the Breakfast Club. But all of it, guys, was a segue in order for her to point out how much of a victim she is. See, up to this point, other people have been saying she's a victim of the Russian bots, the victim of the evil black men who call her fake person. She used this whole Russia thing, dragging Colin Kaepernick loose, like making a significance, rewriting history even, all because she wants people to think that anybody that criticizes her is somehow influenced by Russian bots. She doesn't want you to think that anybody's influenced by her record. As if her record of prosecutorial madness isn't enough for people to be off-put or put off by her. You know, and then they go back and talk about how she was criticized by right-wingers about her ancestry. And look, man, me and Bishop Talbot, Swan and I, Bishop Talbot put out a video, was eloquently presented, very calm, relaxed, very to the point that anybody should be able to criticize Kamala Harris, and black men in particular should not be demonized or castrated or labeled misogynist, any of that. But my thing is, look, Kamala Harris, you are scraping the bottom of the barrel. You're proving what people already are thinking. I don't know who's on your team. I don't know who's advising you. But you're going to go back talking Russia. That's a stinker and a loser for the Democrats. That ain't going to help people like you more. By saying criticism of you is Russian-based. Okay? Some people like Russian dressing, but nobody wants to hear Russian bashing. And also you shouldn't pick a story that was so widely spread that there's no way Russia was behind the Colin Kaepernick salute knees. I mean, it was everywhere. That was a story that was literally everywhere. And it wasn't because of Russia. It's like The Walking Dead is the #1 show on TV at the time. Must be the work of the Russians. It couldn't be all the great acting. It couldn't be all the zombies and the storyline, the story arcs, the story, and the characters that were developed, the special effects, the gore, the screams, the anger of death and sorrow of our main characters being killed off one by one, making us want to pick it almost, driving some people to drink large, copious amounts of alcohol. No, that couldn't be it. Couldn't be that. It would have to be the damn Russians. And, of course, there's no data to present to prove this. You know, I'm going to get off this story, but I just want to add one last thing. If somebody walks up and they tap you on the shoulder like this, just like that with the index finger, just technically, that can be considered assault. Now, if somebody walks up and does one of them bottle top roundhouse kicks that turns the top off the bottle, you've seen it, but instead of hitting the top, they hit you upside the side of your head, bam! That's also considered assault. Technically, both can be considered assault. The tap of the index finger and the roundhouse kick that unloosens your head like a soda, like a bottle, a water bottle top, cap. But they are different. What I'm trying to tell you is that this whole Russia thing makes no distinction between what we get bombarded with on our news, which would be the roundhouse kick that removes your head from your shoulders, nearly, almost decapitating you. But that's how much the difference is between what we get on our media, bombarding, during an election cycle of all types of media, on TV, on cable media, local media, and the tapping of the finger on the shoulder, well, that was Russia. Big difference in the amount of effect. Big difference in the proportion, the pounds, the square inches per pound. But if you want to be a stickler and you want to be technical, they both can be considered assault. And that's the difference between what they say the Russians did, tap, 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 and what our cable media does every day when they push a candidate. And that's the mofo and truth. All right? All right. Let's keep it moving, guys, because there's more truth to be said. This is where I remind you that this show is brought to you by people like you who watch the show. It's not brought to you by the MSNBC or DNC or the GOP or the Libertarian Defense Fund or anything. It's brought to you by people like you who said, you know what? Tim, you all right. Yeah, Tim, sometimes I disagree with you. But, I get the sense that you're not blowing smoke at me. Here's a couple dollars to help the show keep going, man. Keep doing the show. That's why this show's on the air. That's why we do what we do. That's how we're able to do it. Right? We keep it real. We keep it 100. You can't do that if you're getting funded by DNC people. Certain stuff you can't say. So anyway, become a member of Tim Black or the Wolfpack, Tim Black's Wolfpack on patreon.com, Tim's Take Live, and share it. Share. Right now, man, anything I put out, they demonetize. You don't make no money off videos no more. Them days over. They want you to watch CNN. They want you to watch MSNBC, Fox News. They don't want you watching Tim Black. Can't control that guy. That guy liable to say anything. He might even say the Russia story was a bunch of BS to make Hillary not look like a loser. Can't have that. It's a conspiracy theory. It's funny how conspiracy theories are always what we think. Like, Kamala Harris could go on Breakfast Club and make any type of allegation she want about smart people say, and that's not considered a kooky conspiracy theory. Colin Kaepernick, it wasn't a thing. All right, so next story, guys. Before we get to Trump, let's do Trump last, all right? Let's do Pete. Yeah, here we go. Let's go Pete. Okay, so I've been talking to people about Mayor Pete Buttigieg. I try to tell people that there are things about Mayor Pete that you should be concerned about. But a lot of people like Mayor Pete for some reason. They think that Mayor Pete is a breath of fresh air. One of the reasons why I'm concerned about Mayor Pete is that I pay very close attention to when he starts talking. Now, here goes an interview that he did, an excerpt of an interview he did with David Axelrod. Axelrod, I think he was the campaign chairman for Barack Obama, President Obama. It was a very interesting conversation. There's a lot of stuff they talked about. They talked about race. They talked about many issues. But they talked about, I want us to focus on not the race part, because that's too easy. This guy got a problem in Indiana. 40% of South Bend, Indiana is black, but I saw maybe 2 black people at his announcement ceremony. It didn't make sense. That's easy to talk about. And Axelrod asked him about that, and Pete said some stuff. But I want to talk about his fundraising. Now, here goes the clip. Check this out, and then we're going to have a conversation about this.
I mentioned at the top that you raised quite a bit of money, almost $25 million in a quarter, which was phenomenal. In this book, you were talking about your race for state treasurer of Indiana, and you said you have to wonder about fundraising, whether like spending too much time typing or sunbathing, it does something unhealthy to you in the long run. You've just done 70 fundraisers in places like Hollywood and Wall Street, Silicon Valley. You've become kind of a favored candidate of the elite. Does it give you any concern?
Well, we're trying to reach everybody at every different level. It's why, in addition to the traditional political work we do, we also have a lot of grassroots fundraisers where tickets are very affordable. We'll fill a theater full of people to make sure that that we're interacting not just with the kind of traditional party raisers, but anybody who really cares about
Elizabeth Warren's not doing any fundraisers at all. She just raised almost as much as you, a little 20 million. Yeah, okay, you are competitive, but she said she's not doing them because she thinks they're corrosive.
Yeah, I mean, I think ultimately this only gets better when we fix the system itself. Citizens United was a disaster for American democracy, and until we change our campaign finance system, we're going to continue to have this problem that the people we elect and expect to spend their time solving our policy problems are spending way too much of their time just raising the dollars they need in order to pay the field organizers in Iowa. Yeah, how else can we fund our campaign?
So you're going to play by the rules as they're written now and then try and change them if you get the chance?
Well, I can't change them until we get the chance, but that's our plan.
Okay. All right, so there we go. There was Mayor Pete. Make sure we're good. So there was Mayor Pete talking to Axelrod about fundraising. Now, some of you may have watched that and you didn't really see or hear anything that really jumped out at you because Mayor Pete is such a good communicator. He's so smooth, so to speak. Sort of a slick talker, and that's not he's good at speaking. He's good at speaking. He's good at projecting this. I'm a nice guy. I'm a really nice guy, and I'm just here to be a nice guy. And I just want what's best, and I'm real reasonable. What you're going to see is you're going to witness a reasonableness that you're lacking when you look at Donald Trump. And my whole purpose here is to make America better. And I'd walk your dog, and I could spend time alone with your significant other, and I wouldn't try anything because I'm a very reasonable person. I'm full of ethics, and this is what I do. I don't wear my pants too tight or too loose, and I don't throw trash in the street. I do none of these things. So you may have missed some of the things about Mayor Pete in that clip that you should pay attention to. What I like to do now is play it one more time, and this time I want you to focus not on the way he's talking, but focus on what he says, the responses to Axelrod. Hang in there with me. I got a point with this.
You mentioned at the top that you raised quite a bit of money, almost $25 million in a quarter, which was phenomenal. In this book, you were talking about your race for state treasurer of Indiana, and you said you have to wonder about fundraising, whether like spending too much time typing or sunbathing, it does something unhealthy to you in the long run. You've just done 70 fundraisers in places like Hollywood and Wall Street, Silicon Valley. You've become kind of a favored candidate of the elite. Does it give you any concern?
Well, we're trying to reach everybody at every different level. It's why, in addition to the traditional political work we do, we also have a lot of grassroots fundraisers where tickets are very affordable. We'll fill a theater full of people to make sure that that we're interacting not just with the kind of traditional party raisers, but anybody who really cares about
Elizabeth Warren's not doing any fundraisers at all. She just raised almost as much as you, a little 20 million. Yeah, okay, you are competitive, but she said she's not doing them because she thinks they're corrosive.
Yeah, I mean, I think ultimately this only gets better when we fix the system itself. Citizens United was a disaster for American democracy, and until we change our campaign finance system, we're going to continue to have this problem that the people we elect and expect to spend their time solving our policy problems are spending way too much of their time just raising the dollars they need in order to pay the field organizers in Iowa. Yeah, how else can we fund our campaign?
So you're going to play by the rules as they're written now and then try and change them if you get the chance?
Well, I can't change them until we get the chance, but that's our plan.
Okay, just want to make sure we all paid attention to that. We all saw it. Now, okay, so what I did was I took notes at everything, pretty much everything that was said. So this is one of the things about Mayor Pete that you got to pay attention to. Mayor Pete wrote a book, and in that book, he talked about fundraising. He said that fundraising was damaging. It was damaging. It was corrosive. That fundraising is not good for you. Doing all this fundraising when you're running for an office, which he ran for, treasurer, that it wasn't good. Like it was like typing too much is not good for your wrist, or being in the sun can give you sun cancer. Being in the sun too much, prolonged exposure, can give you sun cancer. So he admitted this years ago that this was not good, but now he's doing it anyway. Axelrod points out you did 70 fundraisers, even though you're the guy that said fundraising isn't so good. Now, as Pete defends doing the thing that he said wasn't good, he obscures the reason why it's not good. And then he tries to equate that this is just typical politicians. He says traditional political work. In combination with traditional political work, i.e. going behind closed doors, doing private fundraisers with rich tycoons, billionaires, millionaires. That's what he means by traditional political work. He equates that with going to a gymnasium with regular people, as if there is no difference between the two. Well, one is when you go to these private fundraisers, no one can see what you're saying. No one can hear what you're talking about and what promises you're making. What deals you may be hooking up in order to get those big donations. When you do a private town hall, we do an open door town hall, people can come, people like Tim Black can show up, we can take pictures, we can take notes, we can come back and report it. What's said is not private. This was the same knock we had about Hillary Clinton. See, I had a lot of conversation, a lot of fire for Hillary Clinton, but I try to be fair. We should be just as fair with Mayor Pete. Mayor Pete is doing behind doors fundraising in the Cascades, Calabasas, in Hollywood, in Silicon Valley, and other places, raising money. What is he talking about? Maybe there's a reason why Mayor Pete says, Medicare, I want Medicare for all who want it. Like that's not a thing, but he wants to make that a thing. Like Medicare for all who want it. Maybe that has something to do with the fundraising he's doing. Then he says, then Axelrod corners him and says, well, you know, Elizabeth Warren raised almost as much money as you, but she didn't do closed-door fundraisers with the big tycoons. Now, some people have sent me some information that shows that may not be totally true. So that remains to be seen. But Pete says, yeah, but she didn't raise as much as us. So Pete's only concerned with not about how he raises money, not about who he gets it from. He's more concerned about how much he got. How much money he has is most important to Pete. Which totally, once again, this also obscures the whole reason why don't we want candidates taking a lot of big money from big money interest or, you know, tycoons, rich billionaires, millionaires. Why don't we want that? Is it because we hate money? No, we don't hate money. It's because we don't want the undue influence that giving big sums of money to our candidates will result in. You can't tell me somebody gets you millions of dollars or whatever, these bundlers with millions of these people just show up with bags of money, that doesn't have an influence on your campaign. That doesn't have an influence on your policy. You're a human being. You're trying to run. You need money. They're giving you money. Then they say, well, I want you to do this. And you're like, oh, I can't do that. Well, then I can't give you any more money. So much for all the bundling. So it's not that progressives hate money. It's not that conservatives who are against it, because a lot of Americans are against this. Conservatives, liberals, progressives, moderates, pretty much everyone who wants a real democracy doesn't want corporations buying our politicians. We want the people to buy them. We want the people to fund you. Pete, if you listen to Pete, it's almost as if he doesn't even believe that's possible, that people can be funded or the campaigns can be funded by people. Yeah, if your issues are attractive to people, people will give you money to further those issues because they care about those issues. Bernie Sanders, that's what he's been doing. You know, Bernie Sanders raised a lot of money as well. He's raised a lot more money than Pete this, maybe not this last quarter, but he blew Pete away in fundraising. And he didn't go behind closed doors and do private fundraisers with millionaires and special interest groups. What up? Then Pete says, we need to change the rules, but until we change the rules, I'm going to exploit the rules for my benefit. That's not what you want in a leader. Is that really what you want? I know this thing is wrong, and I've wrote about it being wrong, and this is not helpful at all, but I'm going to do it. Even if I don't have to do it and others aren't doing it, I'm going to do it because it's easier for me. Elect me. I'll be a great leader. Doesn't really sound like leadership, like style, does it? See, this is the thing about Mayor Pete. If you didn't have the context of that, you just hear the guy talk, you go, oh, I like this guy. He doesn't seem like the kind of guy who would run over my roses or nothing. Doesn't seem like the kind of guy that would use the N-word or nothing. You know what I mean? Like, sounds pretty decent. But unless you pay close attention to what he's saying and what he's not saying, you can miss the boat on Mayor Pete, and you may be deluded into thinking that Mayor Pete is a leader. He ain't a leader. Mayor Pete is a guy out for himself. Mayor Pete will do the wrong thing because it's expedient. That ain't a leader. That's not what we need right now. If you think a guy like that will take shortcuts right now, from a small town in South Bend, Indiana mayor who has his whole life ahead of him, who could slowly build a coalition, slowly build a campaign, and slowly build momentum. Do you think that guy really can beat Donald Trump? I don't think he can. I don't think there's enough difference. I don't think he's going to have bold enough policies. I don't think that man Pete really gets it, that the world was one way, and now it's a different way. And we're not going to be able to run people. America will not stomach fake, plastic, uninteresting people who play games with words. Now, I know people are going to say, what about Trump? And we're about to get into Trump. Trump did something revolutionary, and he ran against Hillary Clinton. There was a couple reasons. One was he manipulated the media. He threw raw meat at the media. Get at that. Get at it. Come on. I know you. Come on, boy. Come on, CBS. Come on, Fox. Come on, MSNBC. I know you want. Oh. Hey, Fox. You know, he did that thing. That's why he's president. And he was also running against this lady who's sitting over there going, why should I have to campaign? I'm Hillary. Everybody should just fall down. Fall down, fall down, fall down. Uniting campaign slogan, I'm with her. So Pete doesn't realize that the world's a different place, and now people are looking for something radically different than what we've had. And there needs to be a contrast to Donald Trump, just not in nice words, but in vision. Vision. So, yeah. I'm going to do a video that breaks down the fundraising of all these candidates. It's very interesting, really how it breaks down. Yeah. Pete raised a lot of money, but that ain't good for us. It don't help us. It only helps Pete, and it's not really good for Pete either. That's his own words. It's bad when you disagree with your own self, you know? It's embarrassing. Bunch of fundraising's wrong 2 years later, but it's sometimes you just got to do it anyway because, you know, even if it's wrong, you got to win, though. So forget what I said. That was just to sell that stupid book. All right, next. Next story. All right, so I'm sure, well, I'm not sure. People worked him. Okay, Donald Trump made some statements. We talked about some people in Congress, Democrats, of course, who he disagrees with, who thinks they are horrible people. They're unpatriotic, to say the least. He made comments on Twitter that has truly been something people have been focusing on for the last 24 hours. We're going to address it. I'm going to play a clip of Donald Trump addressing his own comments because he's going to also repeat himself several times because we know the eloquence of Donald Trump on a stump. Okay, so in this clip, Donald Trump's going to talk about the same thing a few times, and you'll get the gist of everything in this clip.
The time. That's what I said in a tweet, which I guess some people think is controversial. A lot of people love it, by the way. A lot of people love it. But if you're not happy in the U.S., if you're complaining all the time, very simply, you can leave. You can leave right now. Come back if you want. Don't come back. It's okay, too. But if you're not happy, you can leave. Well, that's just a very racist statement, somebody that would say that. So Speaker Pelosi said, make America white again. Let me tell you, that's a very racist statement. I'm surprised she'd say that. John, go ahead. Well, they're very unhappy. I'm watching them. All they do is complain. So all I'm saying is if they want to leave, they can leave, John. They can leave. I mean, I look at Omar. I don't know. I never met her. I hear the way she talks about Al-Qaeda. Al-Qaeda has killed many Americans. She said, you can hold your chest out. You can, when I think of America, When I think of Al Qaeda, I can hold my chest out. When she talked about the World Trade Center being knocked down, some people, you remember the famous some people. These are people that, in my opinion, hate our country. Now, you can say what you want, but get a list of all of the statements they've made. And all I'm saying that if they're not happy here, they can leave. They can leave, and you know what? I'm sure that there'll be many people that won't miss them. But they have to love our country. They're Congress people, and I never used any names. But these are people, quiet. These are people that if they don't like it here, they can leave. And I don't know who's going to miss them, but I guess some people will. One of them is polling at 8%. One of them is polling at 8%. So when I hear people speaking about how wonderful Al Qaeda is, when I hear people talking about some people with the World Trade Center, some people, no, not some people, much more than some people. When I hear the statements that they've made, and in one case you have somebody that comes from Somalia, which is a failed government, a failed state, who left Somalia, who ultimately came here, and now is a congresswoman who's never happy, says horrible things about Israel, hates Jews. It's very simple. And if the Democrats want to wrap their bows around this group of 4 people, one of them kept Amazon out of New York, tens of thousands of jobs, would have been a great thing. And she kept Amazon from going, would have been a good deal. I mean, could he have made better? Maybe. But tens of thousands of jobs. And New York has not been the same since that happened. It's really hurt New York and New York City. Amazon was going to go. They were going to relocate a major section of their business in New York. She kept them out. That was a terrible thing she did. Here's the story. I see them complaining.
I want you to really, truly. Let me make sure my mic is up for this. I think we're good. I hope people realize just how juvenile Donald Trump is. You know, sometimes I think we kind of lose sight of it because we become sort of desensitized to the train wreck, which is Donald Trump. Some of us are incentivized to be desensitized because we are financialized by Donald Trump. Some of us are desensitized, though we are victimized by due to the media sensationalized media that focuses all eyes on the lies of Donald Trump. Hence the rise of Donald Trump. I want you to just really listen to, he's a child. This is childish. Not only is it buffoonery, it's dangerous. You have been watching the President of the United States of America. That's who you was just watching. You weren't watching a stand-up comedian. You weren't watching a Sunday evangelist preacher. You were watching the President of the United States talk about individuals in Congress. And to get into, I just want you to know that we're in trouble. That's your president. He might as well just send a pack of Klansmen at these women. I'm surprised he isn't doxing them. And I mean, really, He might as well send a bunch of skinheads and Aryan Nation dudes after him. Isn't that what he's doing? Isn't that what he's doing? Come on, he's the president of the United States, saying that these people hate America. And think about the hypocritical irony of it all. His campaign was Make America Great Again, which insinuates that America is not great. That's not complaining, though. Why is it not complaining? It's not complaining because Donald Trump is white. So this is his country. Get it? See, this is why people say it's racist. Not just in the go back to Africa part. That's Archie Bunker circa 1982. Whenever it was. You're all familiar with that. Go back to Africa. But Donald Trump ran his whole campaign was Make America Great Again, which the insinuation is America is not great, which can be considered a complaint. But it's okay if a white guy complains, hey, we need to fix this. Trump said we need to fix America. Hire me, I can fix it. All this stuff that's broke. We don't win on trade. We don't win. We just keep losing. His whole campaign was America's broke and it needs fixing. People that support Donald Trump don't see the irony of him saying these people hate America because they say America's busted. When he said it, it was fine. When women who are not white say America is racist or backwards or broke or the top people get all the money and it needs to do this and we are treating these immigrants, undocumented immigrants this way, this is horrible. Get out of the country, leave now. These people hate America. But all his people at the rallies, none of them were saying, get out of here, Trump. You're disrespecting America. Because when they see Trump do it, they see a white guy do it. It could be any white guy. It didn't have to be Trump. They see a white guy doing it. They don't see him as a complainer. It's the reason why when I cover black issues, some white people don't want to hear it. He's complaining. Right? This is true. It's just the way America is. I'm not indicting you. I'm just telling you the way it is. When I talk about some black issues, some white people go, oh, God, not this again. Inside, not all people are jerks that say it, they don't all type it. They go, oh, God, not again. Okay, go ahead, Tim. You're lucky I like you. I would pull my Patreon. But when a white guy talks about it, that's refreshing. Well, I never thought about it that way. Because he's not complaining. He's giving me facts. He's giving me facts. It's unbiased. Maybe I should consider. Do black men get locked up more than they should? Wow. We use the same statistic, though. I said 40%. So the point is, America's so jacked up. This is not just about Donald Trump. This is about America. This is not unique to Donald Trump. This is America. Remember that song? This is America. Everybody dance for a while. Na, 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 oh, remember that? Glover? Just realize that it's not unique. Trump just don't give a damn. He'll use it. He did not make it this way, but he uses it to his own benefit. Now, to a certain extent, a lot of politicians do it. They use what they got. But Donald Trump does so in such a way that is so hazardous, so dangerous, that people get hurt. Do you really think what happened with James Fields, whose story I just covered, who just got, his life is over, effectively over. Do you really think, I believe it's a possibility that if it weren't for Donald Trump being president, using these tropes, using these racially polarizing issues, I believe that maybe James Fields may not have plowed through that crowd of people and killed Heather Heyer and injured a dozen others. And I don't think he would be, I think it's a possibility. I can't say definitely, but I also think there's a possibility he might not be serving life in jail right now. So I just want people to realize that we are screwed up. We are Americans. We're screwed up. Donald Trump is taking advantage of how screwed up America is, and he's making it more screwed up, and he don't care. And it's illogical. It makes no sense. He ran on Make America Great Again. That same guy now says these people, insert color of other than white, can't say America's not great. Because if they say it, well, I can rile these people up and say these people don't even need to be in the country. Even though the squad, Ayanna Pressley, where's she from, Ohio? Ayanna Pressley's from Chicago, I'm sorry. AOC's from the Bronx. Rashida Tlaib from Detroit, all born in America. He said, so what? Y'all can go back to wherever y'all came from. Y'all can go back to whatever countries. You go fix your country. They're trying to. That's the country they live in. Oh, you want to make all your tweets about one person? You sure? Then why did you say in your tweets that you were talking to the series of people, the liberal congresswomen who have been critical of House Speaker Nancy Pelosi should go back and help fix the totally broken and crime-infested places from which they came? Why did you say they came if you were only talking about Ilhan Omar? Because you weren't talking about Ilhan Omar only. You were talking about all these women. So there's really no, like I put out a tweet, guys, there's no ground to stand on. Anyone who tries to deflect, anyone who makes excuses for Donald Trump on this, pointing out Ilhan Omar said something one time about the fundraising and lobbyist organizations of whatever, of Jewish, that's not, hey, look, we can talk about the NRA, and that's separate from talking about white people. Just because you talk about the fundraising mechanism and organizations of a people does not mean you're talking about those people individually. You're talking about the fundraising. When we talk about, when I talked about Pete Buttigieg and those private fundraisers, it's not the people themselves, it's the entities. It's not if they're bad people individually. Donald Trump's whole thing is them. Now he said she hates Jews. That could be bad for a person. I want to get to this, though. And it's the reason why I titled this live stream, part of this live stream, was Trump trolling. I want everybody to understand the epic troll Donald Trump is. But unlike some people, I'm not going to make that an excuse. Yes, Donald Trump is trolling. That don't make it good. That doesn't mean we ignore it, but it does mean we try to understand it. So why is Donald Trump trolling? Why is Donald Trump doing something to get attention? It's because, well, Donald Trump had a couple of things that didn't go so well for him. He wanted to get that census language put in there where he would ask, hey, are you an American citizen? They ruled it. He can't do that. Can't put the question in there, though he was talking for months about how he was going to get that question put into the census. Now he can't do it. Failure. He took the L. It's also took an L when Alex Acosta, he had to fire Acosta. And please, guys, miss me with the whole Acosta decided look, this was him deciding to leave. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, after you told him, hey, maybe you should get the hell out of here. Trump up there lying, said Acosta, said, hey, man, I need to leave because I'm distracting you. I'm distracting America from all the work we've done. And Trump was like, oh, man, you really got to leave? Well, come on, Alex. Come on, man. I like the fact you're bringing up everyone's tying me to Jeffrey Epstein now because of you. I like the fact you had me tied to a pedo. This is great for me. I have no problems dealing with this in this election year coming up. This is great. Stay, man. Stay. Don't leave. I like you sinking my poll numbers. Where you going, buddy? We're just getting fun, starting to have fun. And dummies believe Trump that Acosta resigned. So once again, this hasn't been a very good week for Donald Trump. Trump been running on ICE raids. Some people run on gasoline. Some people run on electricity. Trump running on ICE raids. How you going to make America safer by rounding up people and pulling him out the country. Well, it didn't really go as well as he thought it was going to go. I mean, the ICE race basically was a fizzle. Well, didn't perform. It's like, I really wanted to see Pet Sematary the remake, and then I watched it and I was like, oh. And maybe want to go see the real Pet Sematary. And I like John Lithgow, but it was whack. Some of it was good. So that's sort of like Trump when it comes to deportations. I mean, he made all this tough talk, but then his deportation numbers by ICE, his ICE rates, they paled in comparison to Obama. Yeah. Obama deported a lot more people. His ICE raids were a lot more effective. Donald Trump, you're slipping. But see, Obama wanted to hide his ICE raids. Trump put his on the world stage and not doing so good at it. So we had a series of, they say bad things come in threes. One was the census. Wanted to have the citizenship question on the census. Can't do that. Struck down. Strike one. Alex Acosta getting tied to Jeffrey Epstein in a very public way. Your labor secretary is a Dumbo or a corrupt piece of garbage. And lowering your poll numbers. Nobody wants the kids to be molested. Trump. Not even your Roy Moore supporter. Who you supported, by the way? That was two. And then number three, the ICE raids that did not really materialize into much ice. It ended up being slushies. Wasn't really ice. It was more slushy than ice. So in comes Sunday tweets. Oh, I got to do something. They're going to be talking about my bad week all week. They're going to be talking about my census rejection on the citizenship question. They're going to be talking about Alex Acosta and Jeffrey Epstein. They're going to be talking about these ICE raids that didn't go so well after I played it up for 2 months. And what can I do? Oh, I know. Race. Yeah, let's tell them all to go back to Africa. It's all a ploy. Folks, it's all a ploy to shift focus from the fact that he didn't have a good week. That don't make it better. In fact, it makes it worse. It's worse. Trump doesn't care that people get hurt. He just wants to win. Man, Pete doesn't care that money, big money from the elites can influence his presidential run, can influence his policy. He just wants to win. Not good. These things, these attitudes are not unique to Donald Trump, nor are they unique to Mayor Pete, but there are reasons why I have pause for Mayor Pete, and there are reasons why I call out Donald Trump when they present themselves. I don't do it every day because this ain't the Call Out Trump show. I know you get a lot of views off of it. People have built channels off calling out Trump. I don't know. Well, they're not going to do it so much now because, MSNBC and CNN are now, they've been doing it. They own the market on it. But I'm also not going to defend anything that's I don't feel good about. I just want to add that it's going to be important going into 2020 that we got our eyes open on really what's happening. We cannot let ourselves be so triggered because there's going to be a lot of triggering going on. The only way Trump has any chance of this is if he triggers the hell out of us. Nancy Pelosi, he also gifted the Democrats something because there was a lot of fighting going on with the Democrats, public fighting. And when Trump attacked these women of color, now the establishment has to rally around Ayanna Pressley, Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib, and AOC because that looks really bad if you don't defend these women of color from the evil Donald Trump. So Donald Trump basically gave them a bone. They made a wish and he fulfilled. Now they're more united. And no longer talking, very little people are talking about, or very few media entities are talking about how Nancy Pelosi was publicly throwing them under the bus. And then they were fighting back and then she would throw them under the bus some more. So Trump did not have a good week. people say, I saw one clip where someone said, at this point, if you support Donald Trump, you're a racist. Maybe if those people watch my show, because see, when they watch MSNBC and CNN, this is what people don't get. When you watch shows that you know are biased as hell against the person or against a thing that you support, you're not going to move. Like, these people don't get it. If you are so biased to the point that you have no reasonableness, there's no fairness in what you do, then you'll be totally dismissed. No one pays attention to that. The fact that I recognize that both parties have their issues, and the fact that I recognize that both are corrupt, the fact that I recognize they both take big money, the fact that I recognize all of these issues that is bigger than just Donald Trump leads me to have more credibility in the space. You can't just say people who don't watch CNN or MSNBC or who support Trump are racist. I don't think you can do that. And I think that's a mistake, and I see him making it over and over and over and over and over and over again. In fact, that helps Trump more than people know. That actually helps Trump when you say that. You don't understand psychology. One of the tenets of the Tim Black Show is sprinkle some facts on him, because a man changed against his will is of the same opinion still. You have to give people reasons not to support Donald Trump, not just try to shame them. And that's what any candidate needs to do. And when you have a candidate that's in stark contrast to Donald Trump, like a Bernie Sanders, well, you got a shot. But in order for us to have a real shot, we need to be credible. We need to be reasonable. We need not to be so in the can for any candidate that we're defending. Some things are indefensible. They should not be defended. Every word out your mouth should not be in defense of, and I support this, and I support them. No. Call it out when you see it. It's important. Because this is too important. Every election is important. Joe Biden is horrific. If it's Joe Biden versus Trump, y'all going to say hello to more Trump. That's all I got to say on that. But we'll talk more about it as time goes. Look, guys, don't forget, $5 donation, $5 a month. It's not, if you can handle it. If you can handle that, I'll send you this. Also, you become a member of the Tim Black Wolfpack. There's content that you'll get that others won't get. And go to patreon.com, Tim's Take Live. Email me at tim@timblacktv.com, tim@timblacktv.com. Send me your address, $5 or more, Patreon or Wolfpack member, and I'll send you out a bumper sticker, right? That's it, guys. I got nothing but love for you. The clips of this video will be available to the general public as soon as we can get them done. I'll see you on the next one. Let me go check comments. Let me do a couple shout-outs, man. What a night, right? I tell you. Let's see who we got, man. I think we got some people in the house. Okay, we have a Patreon. We have Schultzy100. Hey, thank you, Schultzy. Schultzy says, I'm all for supporting the squad. Bless them all. Well, thank you, Schultzy, for contributing to the show, Schultzy. I appreciate you. Jay Bird. Gosh, I need this screen a little bit closer. Thank you for moderating it. Truth can't be silenced. The Solitary Reaper, David Marcel. God. Facebook, Nicholas. What's up, Nicholas? What's Nicholas talking about? Woo! Nicholas is giving it to Donald Trump in the comment section on Facebook. Goodness gracious, Nicholas. I cannot read that, man. You're going to get me kicked off YouTube, off Facebook. Nicholas. Wow. But I feel you, though, Nicholas. I do, man. I feel you. I know exactly what you're talking about, brother. It's ridiculous what Donald Trump gets away with. It's ridiculous how Thank you, Dolores. I appreciate you. All right, guys. I'm going to let you go. We'll be back tomorrow. Close to 9 p.m. tomorrow. Like, we're going to try to be at least by 10, man. I got tied up tonight. I was working on this stuff, and I wanted to make the show be better. So hopefully this was a good show. Hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget, you can always write me at tim@timblacktv.com, and I'll see you on the next one.